So the next thing we're going to do is we are actually going to download and install Go. So we're going to go to download, just like download Go, right? And we'll see what that brings up. For me, it brought it up, but maybe that's because we have filter bubbles and my searches are different than yours. So you might also try download GoLang, and that will bring you to the golang.org website, DL, download. And here we have a bunch of information about downloading. So basically, right here, we've got this Microsoft Windows XP, whatever, or later, Intel 64-bit processor. And this has this one SHA code right here of OA4, and let's go 1.5.1. And then we also have a Windows down here, 64-bit. So there's Windows 64-bit. And this one has OA4, yeah, so that's the same one. So you can just grab this one right here, and I'm going to click that, and my download is started down here in the background. But we have this interesting little deal right here, this SHA checksum. And two things to point out. So the first thing is this, that'll be the second thing actually, the SHA checksum, because that's the one I'm downloading. And the first thing to point out is whether or not your computer is 64-bit or 32-bit. We're in a little bit of a transition. Mostly all the new computers are 64-bit. If you're on an old machine, it might be 32-bit. What exactly does that mean, and how do you know which kind your machine is? You can click your start button or whatever Windows you're in, however you get there. You want to go to your computer and then right-click your computer and choose Properties. And here we have 64-bit operating system. So if you have 64-bit operating system, it'll tell you that. If it's 32-bit, it'll tell you that. And what's the difference? It's how many zeros and ones your computer can process at one time. So again, if you're just starting out, like programming is kind of new to you, everything in computers is zeros and ones. And I'm going to explain that in a pretty lecture that is soon to be played near you. Soon to come lecture, I'm going to explain just the fundamentals of how computers work. You know, it's pretty basic to wrap your head around if you get it explained right. But everything in computers is zeros and ones. It all comes down to circuits and switches being on or off, and 0 and 1 is a representation of either off or on. And so, you know, how many zeros and ones your computer can process at one time in one cycle, one machine cycle, is what the word size is. And so that's this right here. So 32-bit machine could only process 32 bits at a time. It's like 32 bits, 32 bits, 32 bits, 32 bits. 64-bit machine, the word size, and that's just the definition for it, the word size of a 64-bit machine is 64 bits, right? Word size. Like you can look that up and tells you, right? Anyhow, right, so that's a word, computer architecture. Here we go, and you can read about that. So that's how you tell if you're 32-bit or 64-bit. And then we also have this checksum right here. So what the SHA-1 checksum does, a SHA-1 is a hash algorithm, and a hash algorithm is going to take a bunch of code, a bunch of zeros and ones. It's going to run it through some algorithm, and that algorithm is going to do some sort of mysterious processing. We don't know what it's doing. But when it's done doing the processing, it'll produce a result. And it will always produce the same result. So if I was to put ABC into it, I'm always going to get the same hash coming out. If I put in ABD, I'd get a completely different hash. And so this is a way to check. It allows us to check, right? Is the file we downloaded the file that was intended? So they ran the SHA checksum on the file that they want to give to us. When we receive it, we run it again, and then we compare our number to their number, and if they're the same, the zeros and ones they wanted to give to us are the exact zeros and ones we received. If it's different, there might have been a transmission problem, and our zeros and ones might have become corrupted, or there could have been some sort of nefarious activity where somebody tried to give us something that wasn't intended. So that's what the SHA-1 checksum is. How exactly do we run it? So we've got our file, and let me just go find that here in my downloads. There is my file that I just downloaded, and I need to open my git bash. So I could go here and type in git shell is actually the one I'm wanting. I could bring up my git shell, And then if you don't remember the command, you can come to here and just go terminal SHA-1 checksum, right? How to verify SHA-1, and you can look that up, and it'll be open SSL SHA-1 and then the path to the file. So I'm just going to copy that so I don't have to retype, and go right here, and oh, Windows doesn't allow you to paste. You have to go to edit and then paste to get it to paste. And actually, I want to be in downloads. So let me change to downloads so I can do an ls. Is downloads one of my folders in here? And I'm looking, and C, and it goes straight to E. So can I go up? And now can I do an ls? And there's downloads in here, and there's downloads right there. And so now I could change directory into downloads, and I could do an ls. And I'm just going to shrink this up so we could see it. Oh, and it just became big screen. Sometimes Windows, not a big fan. And all right, I don't know what the heck was happening there, but we are back. And now I can do my ls. And I've got GitHub setup exe go1 right there. So this is the one I want to run it on. So now I can paste in that command. Open SSL SHA-1, and I can type in just go and hit tab, and it completes it for me, and it runs it, and so it crunches all those numbers and it gives me the value, right, based upon running the SHA-1 algorithm, and that is OA439 5BA, and I compare that to this right here, and I've got a match, OA439F 5BA 5BA. Sweet. So the file that was intended is the file that I received. So now that I have that, I can just go ahead and install Go. And let's do that just in case there's any thing that comes up. So I just need to go find that and go to my downloads right there. And so if I need to reinstall it, it's no big deal, right? I could just run it once again. Another version is already installed. Installations version cannot continue to configure or remove the existing version of this product. Use add remove programs on the control panel. So that's good to know. So let me just go to control panel and programs, uninstall a program, and I am looking for Go programming language and uninstall. And that's 1.41. So it's actually good that we're doing this because I'm bringing it up to 1.5 something. Now I have that uninstalled. I could go ahead and reinstall the new version, which disappeared somewhere. By the way, if you don't know this trick, this is Alt, holding down Alt on your keyboard, or Command on the Mac, and Tab. And sorry, maybe that's totally basic, but if there's somebody out there that doesn't know it and they're like, how are you doing that? I'd just rather say it. And run. So now I could install, accept everything. That'll be the default location in Windows. It'll be different in Mac. And install. And all looks good. All looks good. So how do we verify our installation? I am going to go back to my Git shell, which is right here. And I wish my commands that I knew. It's not clearing it. Whatever. See if there's a way to clear it in here. Edit. No. Anyhow, I'll do this. So now all I have to do is type Go version, and it should tell me the version. And we are good to go. We have installed Go. We're doing awesome.